Hi, I'm Dennis Weiss for Eagle Communications. Welcome to our town. We are at the official end of the trail, and I'll bet you don't know where that is. But Michael Hook is here to tell us all about where we are, why we're here, and why it's important to home on the range. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
So, you're the local Abilene history expert on all things Western. Well, in fact, all things Abilene, I guess, is the truth of that matter. Yeah. But your particular focus, you have something you want to talk about, home on the range, and we're at Great Plains Theater. Why are we here?
Well, this is a very important spot. It goes back to Joseph McCoy, and McCoy was plotting out which town he was going to go to, and we're so thankful that he selected Abilene, and so thankful so many other towns said no to him. So we were very lucky for that matter, and as we moved through, this was the place. This was where the center of all the action was. So the Great Western Stockyards was right here. Basically, the Longhorn would be grazing right where we're standing right now. So down the street a little bit, right behind the courthouse, the Drover's Cottage, which was the five-star hotel. Miss Gore, Lou Gore, actually was born and raised in Niagara Falls. Her dad was a hotel proprietor, so she knew how to run a hotel. Joseph McCoy recognized he needed to have somebody from the east that could take care of his hotel. So this was a palace at one time. So
very cool. I'm going to extract a couple things out of that. You said several other communities told Joseph McCoy no. One of the phrases I repeat until people get sick of it is the power of yes. Simply saying yes to an idea and then finding a way to make it work. But you have to say yes. Without a yes, there can be no progress.
Yeah, that's right. And we're so lucky that Ken Spurgeon, who is a pretty high roller in the Hollywood ranks, he's got his own IMDb page. He's had several movies that he's done on Bleeding Kansas, and he's worked with Rance Howard, who is Ron Howard's dad. So we're so lucky he said yes to us, because this movie, Home on the Range, has premiered in the big towns in Wichita and Kansas City, Manhattan. We're so lucky to have it here in Abilene. So.
All right, so we're shooting this on Friday, and next Friday is when this event's happening.
So next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Yeah.
So this will be on TV all week long and on the internet.
Yeah.
But tell people what that event is, time, date, place, what it's going to be, and then we'll flesh it out.
Yeah, so Saturday, September 29th is going to start at high noon, actually. We're not going to do it inside. We're going to go outside so you can really get an experience and feel the end of the trail as it was. But we're going to have a governor's proclamation, which he has already signed off, and we have the nice proclamation that'll go into a saddlebag, and we'll give a speech by Senator Hardy, and he'll read off the proclamation. Jim Gray, the Kansas cowboy from Ellsworth, is going to come out and give us a little backstory of why the Chisholm Trail is so important, especially to Abilene. And then we're going to take the Buckeye Saddle Club, and they're going to ride it all the way down to Carlton. So about a 25-mile journey on horseback. And what's great is every community along the Chisholm Trail has agreed to pick up this proclamation and take it all the way down to Texas. So we are the starting point. This is going to be pretty exciting.
Terrific. You know, I know a little bit about the Buckeye Saddle Club. We were, I had a horse daughter, and we did competed in the Buckeye Club. Always puts on the first show of the year around here.
Yeah.
And they're a long-serving organization of local people dedicated to horses.
Yeah.
It is so cool to have them step up and say, we'll take that proclamation south.
Yeah, and they're pretty excited about it themselves. This is a great historic occasion, and we're so excited to have it do on horseback the way that it would have been. So.
And as I understand it, they're going to Elm Spring.
Yeah.
Down by Carlton?
Yeah. Beautiful area there, and it's very difficult to get to because it's on personal property now.
Right.
But if you're lucky enough to get that moment, and we did a bus tour last year, you get an opportunity to see what the cowboys called the Cowboy Shower. Basically, it's just this fresh water that's running over a ridge, over this basically a cave kind of thing. So you have basically a shower head running water over the top of you. And so when you haven't taken a bath in 100 days, that's actually a beautiful spot for sure.
It is a beautiful spot. The 4-H Club used to take horseback trips and go down there once or twice every 3 or 4 years. You know? So I had the pleasure of going with my daughter there. It's a beautiful spot.
Yeah, and we will do a Facebook Live event, so we're going to follow these horses on the trail as well, and hopefully every community will agree to do that. And it's neat because Caldwell and Delano and all these communities are kind of having little chuck wagons and things along the trail. But this is why we want to do it big here, because we're starting it at the end of the trail. So we'll go backwards But that's why I felt like it was a good time to get Ken Spurgeon out here and do his movie as well, Home on the Range. So.
And that will be here at the theater?
Yeah, a little bit later. That's the big event for the proclamation will be at noon, and then we'll disperse, go have a nice meal at all these great restaurants here in town, and then of course come back. 7 o'clock will be the movie, but 6 o'clock we're going to have a couple of Western artists, have a cowboy poet. We'll kind of build up the event to the movie premiere. Ken will do a Q&A at 6 o'clock as well. So we're pretty excited about just anything and everything. And this Home on the Range was made in 2016. Okay. He actually tells me that the first scene was based in Abilene. So that's how important this movie is to us.
Well, it kind of is our state song, you know?
Yeah, that too. So,
Isn't it interesting? You look at, as I just said, it's our state song. Well, that's the state of Kansas. Again, it means Abilene is very important to the state of Kansas.
Yeah.
This is a significant point of history of the West.
Yeah.
Abilene, Kansas.
Yeah. And think about Dr. Higley, who came over from Ohio. He wrote a poem called My Western Home, and that's where the song originated from 1872, which was just about the same time that we were still a cow town, still going strong at that point. So it's neat to see how it's all intermingled. Smith County is where he wrote the song, or wrote the poem, and eventually reworked in the 1920s. What's great about this movie is it explores the history of where it originated and all the things that ensued, and there's quite a bit of controversy that goes with it, so we're pretty excited.
Well, that'll be an interesting time. You know, I'm always amazed at how people of diverse interests gather together and see the same thing or listen to the same talk and then take different perspectives away. This is another opportunity for that. It doesn't really matter what your movie interests are.
Yeah.
There is something here for you in this story. Saturday night here at Great Plains Theater. Yeah,
and Ken is used to filling up these big houses, so we want to fill up this Great Plains Theater. We want to show off just how great a facility this is, and if you think about all the amazing people that have owned this property on Cottage Street, from Joseph McCoy to Duckwall to the Thunderstruck people in Great Plains Theater, we're so lucky to have these great people that have been right here south of the tracks.
Still contributing to the economic vitality of the area.
Yeah.
I get the pleasure of opening the door and saying hi to people down here quite often. It's something I really enjoy. People maybe in the community, and Dave's over there thinking he's nuts for what he's about to say, but I'm not really a volunteer. I seem to get involved in things that I care about that will make progress happen.
Yeah.
And that list sometimes is not that long, right?
Yeah.
But when I go do something, I do it a lot. So I do a lot to help what I can here, and what I can do is smile and say hello and open a door.
Yeah.
But it gives me an unparalleled opportunity to see who's here.
Yeah.
And we recently had a concert. My wife recently put a concert on a stage here, and I was talking to a local patron, and she walked out, and I said, "So how do you enjoy the evening?" She said, "Oh, the music was okay." She said, "But it wasn't really my style." She said, "But Dennis, people all around me were from Kansas City."
Yeah.
She said the place was full of people from Kansas City, and she says, "That's a miracle." Indeed.
Yeah.
Abilene has a lot to draw people.
Yeah.
It's just different than Longhorns today.
That's right.
But we're still reaching out saying yes, aren't we?
Yeah, and it's a great collaborative effort. All of us know how important tourism is. Luckily, we have a presidential library. Not every town has that, and a museum. And that brings them here. Even at the Seeley Mansion, we would put a map out just to see where we could track and see what it looked like. And as we started putting pins in, 8 months later, every state was covered, and for every continent was covered. We're just getting people from people you wouldn't even imagine that we're receiving, from Italy and Germany and Japan. It's so neat to see who Ike can bring to us.
Okay, we're going to take a short break, Michael, and we're going to come back talk a little bit more about our favorite subject, Abilene, Kansas, our town. Folks, we'll see you in just a minute. Dennis Weiss back talking our town, talking with Michael Hook and talking about Home on the Range and the end of the Chisholm Trail where we're standing at Great Plains Theater. We left off, you said, in 8 months' time at the Seeley Mansion, you had a pin from every continent on the map.
Yeah.
I think I repeated it because every continent.
Well, don't call me out on Antarctica. There was no penguins there, but everybody else was covered there. So
did, gosh, her name just flew out of my head. The lady who goes down and works shifts in Antarctica from Abilene, ran for local office here a while back. You should have remembered her name by now. And then the other guy who I know's name, I'll never forget him, Billy Sunday, lives in Abilene, grew up in Massachusetts because he talks just like my wife.
Yeah.
So anyway, but he's been in Antarctica and he's been to the Seeley Mansion, so there you go. It's so interesting to me that those things fly by our conscience.
Yeah.
And until we stop and think about them, are things in our community that can draw people from all over the world. First of all, the Eisenhower Presidential Library Museum and Boyhood Home, 186,000 people. I don't know what the number is for here. My wife will probably be ashamed of me for not remembering it, but this place is number 2.
Yeah.
And a Great Plains Theater at 23 years of continued operation, of bringing people in the door. And this event, we're going to talk about again, is another way of doing that.
Yeah.
So remind us what we're talking about, the event on next Saturday?
Yeah, so Home on the Range, which is a full-length film. It's a great work. You're going to see Rance Howard, who is Ron Howard's dad. You'll also see Buck Taylor. You'll also see Michael Martin Murphy. A really great collaborative musical movie as well. So we're going to talk about the most important song of the West, and not just that, but most important song about Kansas as well. It is 1947 is when they adopted it as the state song. So we've had it for quite some time, and it brings a lot of pride because everybody from Porky Pig on down to anybody else that wants to sing this song, everybody knows Home on the Range, and so it's going to be fun to be a part of that and to see this movie that was done by Ken. You did a fantastic job, Ken Spurgeon, and it's going to be a lot of fun and a whole big event that's going to be around it.
Now, we've dedicated a show about this event, but the reason that we're doing things like this is 2017 is a big year for Abilene, the community. The Heritage Center that you're in charge of is focusing on reminding people about the Chisholm Trail because it's a big anniversary.
Yeah.
So all of this comes together, right?
That's right. Okay. Yeah, 150th, the sesquicentennial. You can't ask for anything more to happen to this. So Abilene, a lot of people misconstrue. They think that it's Abilene, Texas that we're talking about, that John Wayne and Randolph Scott were all playing down there, but it was right here, right where we're at right now. This was where the action was.
Yeah, a lot of things going on in 2017 in Abilene. We're like any town that has something good to say. When you have an opportunity, you say it often, so that's why we're here in front of the camera. I sat with a group of business people yesterday talking about economic development, and the topic was very focused about that. But as I sat there and listened with my ears, my mind is going, I heard the guy say, there's a lot of communities putting a lot of money into this, and if you want to compete, you have to do these things.
Yeah.
Absolutely true. I'm a competitor, but I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, you know what? We bring a little something different to the game other than money.
Yeah.
I know we have to get a capital campaign together to raise some money to go tell people. Mm-hmm. But look what we have to tell them compared to many other communities that are trying to grow business.
Yeah.
Look at all the things we can tell them.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of great history. Just the Cowboys obviously brought us as our first empire. That was where the real, you would hope that McCoy would have made money off of this town, but he didn't, unfortunately. Too many people swindling and too many bad guys in the railroad business as well. But, we didn't stop there. We basically decided, let's try some winter wheat. Let's bring that in. T.C. Henry decided to sow a patch, and it really made us an agriculture town after that, pushed the Longhorn out, and then all of a sudden you have these entrepreneurs from Illinois and Ohio come coming in, bringing in big money. One point we made a claim to make this the Chicago of the Plains. We wanted to be cosmopolitan, and I think that's where we erased that cowtown. We wanted to get away from that story, the wild and woolly, and say we're going to be the big town here in the Midwest, in the middle of the country.
Really, Abilene, it was a strong contributor to the success of the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
There's the businesses started here, still running today,
yeah.
Nationwide, worldwide. Such a great story. But as we just watch Randall K. West walk behind the camera, and I think of he and his wife, Margaret Claire, who, you know, they've been in this business of theater, this business of TV, this business of putting themselves in front of the cameras and audiences for a long time.
Yeah.
They're here contributing to the product at Great Plains Theater in a way that's truly exceptional.
Yeah.
And part of the reason they're here is because it's Abilene, Kansas,
yeah.
and it's Great Plains Theater.
Yeah. Because
we have that asset that other people's don't.
And the great thing about Randy is, even though he's in the musical theater field, he loves Cowboys just as much as I do. He's got an autographed picture of John Wayne in his office, so I was really excited to see what he could bring to this whole thing as well.
So when folks start down here to come next Saturday evening and watch the movie Home on the Range, they'll have a better understanding of the whole story because of your contribution today. How much time we got left? 5 minutes or so, I'm thinking. So I want to quickly have you tie this back together to the entire Chisholm Trail effort and why it's important to Abilene, and specifically the Heritage Center and why that organization is doing what it's doing.
Yeah, it just feels like this is the right thing to do, is to bring the 150th anniversary of a trail that's not getting its recognition that it deserves. We know the Santa Fe, we know the Oregon, we know those trails. We're trying to get national designation for the Chisholm Trail as well. Senators and lobbyists are trying everything they can to get it to package up with the bill. So if we can get on there, that'll change everything for us. The dynamics, if you can think about the signage and the money and the funding that comes in with all this. So really, this year here is the year we have to capture every bit of energy that we can get. And so, new president in there, hopefully we'll get him to buy into this as well. And the Chisholm Trail, we see it in Oklahoma and Texas everywhere. It's outlet malls, it's car washes, everything's Chisholm Trail. Once you get past Wichita, it's kind of lost. And so we definitely appreciate Dustin DeWeese for taking that name, putting it on his building, putting it on Texas Street.
Sure, absolutely.
That's what we need to capture. Everybody needs to have that Chisholm Trail spirit. And what's the best thing that I ever saw is that painting going on the side, the big mural going on the side of Dave's Guns with Wild Bill and the Arts Council doing that. So that's what we need to capture. That spirit is Abilene.
I want to put an idea out there for you to support. So you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. When you drive over here to where Great Plains Theater is located, here at the end of the Chisholm Trail in the old Alco headquarters building, now the Thunderstruck building, you drive past some of the best mural opportunities in the world.
That's right.
Those concrete grain elevators. We need somebody with an inspiration to fund some murals on the side of those grain elevators. There are people who want to do that. There are people who can do that. We have a tremendous outreach into the artist community centered out of this place right here. We can get that done. We need somebody whose passion is to turn an elevator into an art project for the benefit of everyone. So I put it out there, you support it.
There it is, and that brings a crowd itself.
Yeah, it'd be a great thing. So you take that little concept and do that. Who comes to Abilene to see a grain elevator? Nobody. We bring a lot of trucks and dump grain at the grain elevators. We're happy they're here. But if you can take that same asset that takes the same amount of water, sewer, streets, and pays taxes, and turn it into a tourist attraction through murals, what have you done to the economic viability of your community? Just quadruple it, maybe more.
Yeah, we have plenty of things to attract us, and that would be another great location to go find it.
So when you're out there and you're thinking about great things to do, come down here to Great Plains and say, I saw that crazy guy, Dennis Weiss from Eagle Communications, talking about painting grain elevators. And my wife, who's not the crazy one in the family, will say, we know about that, so we'd love to talk to you. Those are good things. Michael, next Saturday, 29th, high noon.
High noon.
High noon. We're starting off another great day of celebration of Abilene, Kansas, Home on the Range,
6 p.m.
6 p.m. here at Great Plains Theater. Some good things are happening, and a great movie, and a chance to learn and have fun.
Very good.
Okay, thanks for your work down at the
Thank you so
Heritage
much.
Center. Thanks for always being willing to look at the camera and tell folks an opportunity to do good things and have fun here in town.
Yeah.
All right, I'm Dennis Weiss. I work for Eagle Communications. Michael Hook, he works for all of us here in Dickinson County and throughout the West, promoting the vision of cowboys and heritage. You have a great day.